Hello my dear friends, this is Prashant Mavani and I welcome all of you in 21st lecture of Geography. And the name of this lecture is Indian Flora and Fauna. Now those of you who do not know what is flora and fauna, then it is very simple. Flora stands for the plant kingdom and animal kingdom is called fauna, right? So plants are flora and fauna is animal kingdom. Now as you can see on the screen, you can see variety of birds and other sort of animals and rodents and butterflies. You can in trees as well. If you observe, then you will see grass, you will find small herbs and shrubs. So this is the variety which we are going to talk about, and more than that we are going to see why this sort of variety is there, right? Now dear friends, you know you would be able to download this PDF of this lecture from UPSC IAS You will also find special video lectures for your general studies 1 to 4 preparation and special articles. These articles are written in such a manner that they are easy to understand. Factual informations are included but not unnecessary ones. And on our portal you will find MCQs for your upcoming 2017 prelims and basic lectures with practical examples on history, polity and economics as well. Now remember, all these services are available to only those aspirants who have subscribed to our services, and if you are one of them who have not subscribed to our services, then I believe you should not wait at all and do it, because there are many things that you should know about, and UPSC IAS exams is more than happy to deliver all this important material to you guys. So now let's start with pre-existing knowledge. What do we mean by pre-existing knowledge? Basically, so far, as I told you, this is the 21st lecture. That means we have discussed geography in previous 20 lectures. So what is the most basic thing, right? There are many things. We are talking about basic things, but one of the most basic thing I would say is that our planet Earth receives energy from sun. We get two things from sun. One is light and one is heat. Sun is also called as primary source of energy, isn't it? Without sunlight, it is not possible for the earth to have life on it. The other thing is, dear friends, that could that be one of the reasons why sun is praised in different cultural in different cultures and different religions, right? You will find sun in particularly those religions that have originated and that have originated from the lap of nature. If we talk about Indian culture and Indian religions, right, when I say Indian religions, today we know that all major 8 religions are practiced in India, and this is the beauty of our country. But religions like Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, these religions were particularly they originated in this part of the world, and you will find that sun is given a prime importance in this part of the world. Somewhere and somehow people of this period were knowing very well the relations between earth and sun. I'm not saying they would be, or I'm not claiming that they were knowing the technical things, but of course they were having a knack about that sun plays a vital role in the process of life on our planet. Apart from that, we know that we have different landforms in our country, from mountain, plateaus, coastal area, right? And we know that our country is located in two different zones. One is torrid zone, that is everything above equator, and below Tropic of Cancer. So we know that a part of our country is below Tropic of Cancer, and part of our country is in temperate zone. That means it is above Tropic of Cancer. So we can say that part of India is in tropical zone and part of India is in subtropical zone. Now we know that the relation of tropics and subtropics is directly with the amount of heat and sunlight it gets, isn't it? Earlier on I have told you that based on the location of a place, there are many things that you can easily say, or you can come to a conclusion because you know some basic things about geography. And remember, once you are well and once you have good understanding of geography, basic things about geography, I'm not talking about doing PhD or master's level geography, not even bachelor sort of geography. I am talking about geography that is important for your general studies, right? So once you know basic things and the basic nature of geography, then you will find that the history of any place is dependent on the geography of its location. Economics, again, you can arrange that thing, and if the history and economy and geography are having some sort of course they will have relation, but based on the type of geography, based on type of economics, and based on type of history, you will find that the politics of the polity of that country will be designed. So out of the four basic pillar of your general studies, I would say the most basic one, right, the root is geography, right? Based on geography you have history, economics and polity. Now dear friends, we know one more basic thing, and that is photosynthesis, right? Photosynthesis, this is a very simple thing. I'm really sorry to say, but if you don't know what is photosynthesis, then you should pause this video right now, and then you should go ahead and learn what is photosynthesis. If you open your science textbook of NCERT, I think in standard 6th or 7th you will find a chapter on plant world, and then you will find what is photosynthesis. So as today we are talking about flora and fauna, it is very important for you to know that what is photosynthesis. Now of course I have other things to discuss with you guys, so I'm not going into the detail, but based on general studies, one thing is clear, that photosynthesis is possible only when there is light and availability of water. These are the two basic things, right? Light and water. Now if I say these are the two basic things, from this sunlight point, right, can you say that photosynthesis process will be in its maximum in the area that is torrid zone, because it receives good amount of sunlight compared to temperate zone? You can also say that temperate zone will have a relatively good amount of photosynthesis process in plants compared to frigid zone, isn't it? Now if you can tell this, then you can also just use your common sense and logic, and you can say that if photosynthesis is taking place, then and if it is taking place, if the basic things for the photosynthesis is available in plenty, then you can say that in temperate zone you will find less plant species compared to the torrid zone or tropical zone, because it is the tropical or torrid zone that receives maximum sunlight and it will have all the necessary things for photosynthesis here. That means you will have different sort of, or you will have variety, the most diverse variety of plant species will be found in torrid zone. Then in temperate zone, and generally speaking in frigid zone, you do not find that sort of variety, isn't it? We know that frigid zone is generally covered with snow. The grasses, shrubs and trees which grow on their own, dear friends, are known as natural vegetation. You can also call them flora. The animal kingdom, as I told you earlier, is called fauna, and food chain consists of both flora and fauna. Now, dear friends, if we have learned and understood so far that tropical or torrid zone, I'm going to use the word tropical zone, right? Rather than using both the words, I will just say torrid zone, and I'm sure you will torrid or tropical zone. If alternatively, whatever terminology I'm using here, consider that I am talking about a zone that is between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn, right? So when I say that torrid zone receives maximum sunlight, and because of that it will have maximum possibility of having photosynthesis process. Now we know that photosynthesis process takes place in plants, and if maximum amount of this process is taking place, then you will have a variety of plants, isn't it, in this region. Now we know that food chain consists of both plants and animals. So if you have variety of plant species, right, you have taller trees, you have shorter trees, you have medium height trees, then you have grass, you have shrubs, you have herbs, all sort of different plants, right? You will have creepers, you will have climbers. All this variety is available in this torrid zone. So based on this, you will find different animals that would be directly dependent on this variety of plant species. There could be bigger monkeys who would be able to climb on the higher heights. There would be some other animals or birds who would be having the nest in different kinds of trees. In fact, in one tree as well, you will find that variety of bird species may coexist with each other. Then you have different types of reptiles, different types of mammals, etc., etc. So that means, again, the diversity of fauna, that is animal kingdom, will be at its maximum in torrid zone compared to the other zones, that is temperate zone and frigid zone. So now, dear friends, if you open your atlas book and if you observe the variety of species that are found in different parts of the world, you will find that the maximum amount of diverse species or biodiversity, generally speaking, you will find them between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. That is between, in this zone, this zone, that is torrid zone or tropical zone. Now remember that you may find some of variety or some sort of like in some parts of the world you will find that it has crossed a little bit of torrid zone and it is entering into temperate zone as well. But remember, this is a very common and logical thing which we are talking about. We are not going into too much technicality, because the reason is that civil services examination requires your basic understanding, right? Remembering too many figures and too many numbers is not going to be that much helpful compared to if you get a basic understanding is clear. Now if you go too technically, then you will find that the equator is not exactly where it is theoretically, and the sun as well goes up and down, and this is called ICTR. So the temperature exactly is not on, we know that equator is the hottest point, but it is not in a straight line, it goes up and down and all these things. So based on that you will find that again your Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Equator is also a bit of sort of a zigzag, right? But for understanding things in the maps, we generally find them in a one line. So these are the technical things, and based on that you will find that some places, right, only some places you will find that it is in this zone, in this temperate zone as well, but in the bottom part of the temperate zone, not on the higher latitudes. It would be somewhere near to the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. So this, I believe, is very easy to understand, so do not get confused. The reason why I am specifically mentioning here this thing is that you will find it, and you should find it, and then you should understand that world is a very diverse place. We know that infinite landforms are there, and there are other things as well that impact the climate of any place, and in last lecture we have talked about those 4 things that do impact, right? So that also plays here. So now let's start with, now as we have understood that there are different types of landform and different zones of temperature and different photosynthesis ability based on the temperature and light, we know that we have diversity in vegetation. So let's start to understand what is tropical evergreen forests. Now dear friends, tropical evergreen, that itself, the name itself suggests that they are found in tropical area. The other thing is that they are evergreen. That means they are green forever. So naturally you will find them in those places that receives heavy rainfall, right? Good amount of rainfall, because remember, water is one of the most important thing that is required for photosynthesis. So the more water, and of course it is in tropical zone, so you have more sunlight, that means photosynthesis. The other thing is that these forests are so dense that even sunlight do not reach the ground. You will find bigger leaves here, bigger leaves, that means if the leaves are bigger, that means it would be able to catch more sunlight, right? And the drawback of bigger leaves is that, dear friends, and of course because the trees are having enough sort of water supply, the trees are a bit cocky here. When I say bit cocky, what they do is they extract huge amount of water from the land, and then they use part of that water, and the water that is in excess, that is transpired in atmosphere, so that is released by the trees in atmosphere, right? This is called transpiration. It is a process that is done by trees, that happens in trees, and it takes place generally from leaves. So the bigger the leaves, the bigger area it has for catching sunlight, right? And they are so big, so many of the taller trees with a huge canopy will even restrict the sunlight to reach in the ground. The other thing is that variety of tree species is found in tropical evergreen forest. You will find very tall trees, then you will find medium and short trees. You will also find climbers and creepers, and all sort of variety is available in tropical evergreen forest. One of the most important thing that you should remember, as the name goes, it is evergreen. That does not mean that the trees do not shed their leaves. Yes, the trees do shed their leaves, but not in one particular season. In different season, different trees shed their leaves, and that is the reason why this forest looks evergreen all the time. They are found in India. You find them in northeastern states. Now remember, not all northeastern states have tropical evergreen forest. There are few northeastern states that have tropical evergreen forest. Generally speaking, the higher you go, you won't find them. Like in the highest hill of Arunachal Pradesh and Sikkim and all this area, you will not find tropical evergreen forest. But in the parts of Assam and other states adjoining Assam, you will find them. That is your Nagaland, Manipur, parts of Manipur and all this area, you will find tropical evergreen forest. But I would highly recommend, and you should do it, dear friends, you should open your map book and locate this tropical evergreen forest and try to make a list of the states of Northeast in which you find these forests. Then the other area in India where you find is Andaman and Nicobar Island and Western Ghats. Now you know what is Western Ghats, so I'm not going into detail. Important trees are mahogany, ebony and rosewood. These trees are evergreen, so they work as a permanent carbon sink. Now we have, dear friends, talked about variety of new species that are found in Western Ghat in daily current affairs analysis. Remember, I have provided you pictures as well. May it be of a frog that is of size of a thumb, or may it be a crab that is living on the tree, and spider species. All these things are being provided to you. Whatever new species are found, we have talked about it, even about the panthers as well. And I told you clearly that you find them, you also find them in Western Ghat. Now you can understand that here you have tropical evergreen forest, and the variety of trees is quite huge. Tree species is huge, so based on that you have variety of fauna as well. So you will find all these new species and maximum amount of different species of animal as well in this area. Tropical deciduous forest. Again, this is in tropical, and why it is called deciduous, we'll talk about it in a minute. Now they are also known as monsoon forests. Remember, I told you in our previous discussion that Indian climate is called as monsoon type climate. That means this forests would be dependent on the season of monsoon. They are generally found in India, large part of India. The maximum amount of Indian forest area is tropical deciduous forest. They are less dense. That does not mean they are not dense. Of course they are dense, but they are not that much dense compared to evergreen forest. So the sunlight will reach the ground. Trees shed their leaves at particular time of the year, right? There is a tree shedding their leaves season. So this is the reason why it is known as tropical deciduous forest. You will also find forest fires. We have talked about forest fires in daily current affairs analysis. We have seen forest fires taking place in parts of Kerala and also in Uttarakhand. This was reported in newspapers. So remember that you find this sort of forest, generally forest fires are generally takes place in tropical deciduous forest, because now you can logically connect that trees are shedding their leaves, and when temperature goes too high, or by a mistake of any tourist or adventurous people, many times smoking or campfire and this sort of things as well are behind forest fires. Now less variety of flora and fauna compared to evergreen forest. They are also good carbon sink. Sal, teak, pipal, neem and sishan is found in tropical deciduous forest. Then we reach another variety, that is Tawny Bushes. Now you can understand very well that you will find them in the area that is reasonably dry, right? You will find in the dry parts of our country, and we know dry parts, some of the parts of Maharashtra, parts of Gujarat, parts of Rajasthan, parts of Punjab as well, and parts of Haryana. This some of the parts which are dry, you find them in this part of our country. Leaves are spine in shape, so they lose less water. Remember I told you about tropical leaves, that they are quite broad. Here, because the water is premium here, so the leaves are spine in shape, so they lose less water, and transpiration is not allowed at all. Generally speaking, the minimum transpiration takes place over here. Trees have thorns to protect its kitchen, that is leaves, from being eaten away by herbivorous animals. And cactus, care, babool, hikar are important trees. Roots of these plants are deep in the land to absorb water, right? Good for fighting desertification. These thorny bushes, the variety of trees that you find here, they can survive they can survive the dryness of the environment around it, and because their roots are deep in the land and they do not allow much water to go away from transpiration, and they have thorns as well to protect their leaves, that works like a kitchen for these plants. They do not they are not chewed away by herbivorous animals. They also provide shed to animals and wayfarers. Wayfarers basically means the people who are traveling to different places by taking a walk. Mountain vegetation. We have mountains all over the places. We have mountains in Himalayas. We have mountains, Himalayas stretching from Kashmir to Purvanchals, that is your northeast states. Then we have Eastern Ghats, Western Ghats, we have Aravalli, we have Vindhyas and Satpuras, and so we know that we are covered with, there are many places in our country where we have mountains. So of course we are going to have variety in mountain vegetation as well. Now the wide variety of species is found in the mountains according to variation in height. As we climb higher altitude, temperature falls, and after a certain height the trees become conical in shape and so are known as coniferous trees. You might have seen the Christmas tree, dear friends. It looks like a cone, isn't it? Inverted cone. And the reason why it is in this shape is because, say for example, in higher heights you have snowfall. This snow will easily be when it will fall on the tree, on this tree, and of course on the leaves as well. The shape of the leaves and the shape of the tree allows the snow to slip away from it rather than getting accumulated over it and ultimately leading to breaking away of branches and death of a tree. So the shape is coniferous, particularly of those trees that are higher in height. Chir, pine and deodar are important trees. Now another important things regarding mountains is that mountains have good sources of water, and in tropical area you will generally find that in the valley area you will find that there would be a sort of variety of species. It would look like tropical area, right, because you have available water is available, and sunlight of course is available in tropical area, so density would be quite high in the valley area. But as we climb higher and higher, we find that the variety of tree, the variety of flora and fauna will vanish away. And then the last one that we are going to discuss today is mangrove forest. Now mangrove, of course, due to tide, right, we have talked about tide as well. So tide nearby the coastal area, of course, bringing salty water in the land, and because of this you have high salinity, and the forests or the trees or the species of trees that can survive this salinity, they form mangrove forest. A very good example is Sundarbans, and our Sundarbans come from a tree, that is a species of tree that is known as Sundari. And when you have the jungles of Sundari, that is known as Sundarbans in Bengali, and in Hindi we can call it Sundarvan. Right, dear friends, areas of West Bengal, Andaman, Nicobar, and some coastal states of eastern India and western India have these forests. With this, dear friends, we have gone through the natural vegetation, and now I'm sure based on this natural vegetation you do understand that animals as well will vary. You will find highest sort of species, biodiversity in species in tropical zone, and in thorny bushes the species would be quite less because of course there is less variety of natural vegetation. With this, dear friend, I conclude today's discussion on geography. Right now I would request all of you to share this lecture, because remember that if you light a lamp for someone else, it will also brighten your path. Do share this lecture, dear friends. Do light a lamp for someone else who is preparing for civil services examination. You know very well that people do charge huge and hefty amount of money for such basic things, right, that we have already studied in school as well. All you have to do is develop and read things of these basic subjects from an adult perspective. The UPSC requires you to be of 21 year old, right? You should be somewhere around 21-year-old. That means you are an adult person. It was 3 years ago when you were given the right to vote. That means you were active politically. The government gives you license to drive, isn't it? So by time you are 21, you would have finished your bachelor's degree as well. So you can call yourself a well-educated person, right? You'd be having good sort of logic and good sort of balance of emotion. So you'd be a fit person, right? Good for society. Now, do you think these things are so difficult that you have to pay huge amount of money for basic subjects, right? Understanding basic subjects is fun, isn't it? You will come to know so many things about the world that is located around you. And for this, I believe is right of every individual. You should know about this thing. Even if you are not preparing for civil services examination, you should know about these basic things. Practical approach should be there. And that is the reason why I would request all of you to share this lecture with those people to whom you believe they are not aware about these things, and also those people who are planning or who are already spending huge amount of money for preparing basic geography for civil services examination. With this, dear friends, I look forward to hear from you. Thank you very much for listening. Stay curious. This is Prashant Mavani signing off. Goodbye for now.